You did not grow up in a war zone, but your nervous system does not know that. It learned danger at home. You knew the sound of it before it started, the shift in tone, the silence before the storm. You became an expert at reading it. You held your breath through the whole thing, waiting for it to stop, waiting for the house to go quiet again. And when it stopped, the silence was its own kind of fear, because silence meant it could start again. Peace was never safe. That child grew up, left the house, but the waiting never stopped. It just found new rooms to happen in. It is easy to think you simply have anxiety, that you are sensitive, easily stressed, but that explanation does not quite land. This is not anxiety, it is memory, a nervous system trained by years of real threat to stay permanently ready. The body kept the score, every raised voice, every slammed door, every silence that meant the storm was coming. Children who witness parental conflict do not just observe it, they absorb it into the bone. Not because they were bad parents always, not because it was always violent. Sometimes it was just loud, relentless, unresolved. The damage was not in single moments. It was in the accumulation, years of a home that never fully felt safe. Growing up in a high-conflict home does not just shape your childhood, it rewires how you experience every relationship after. How you fight, how you flee, how you freeze, how you love people who feel like chaos. All of it begins in that house. And when you understand where it came from, truly understand, the pattern loses some of its power over you. Researchers call it exposure to interparental conflict. Children call it Tuesday, a home where fighting was just the weather. The research is clear and consistent. Children do not need to be targets of the conflict. Witnessing it is enough to cause damage. The child's nervous system responds to parental conflict the same way it responds to personal threat. The brain does not know the difference. Cortisol rises, heart rate climbs, the stress response fires fully, over and over and over for years. Over time, the nervous system learns a new baseline, not safety, not rest, readiness, always readiness. This is hypervigilance, not a personality trait, not anxiety disorder, a survival system that outlived the threat. They were not born this way. They were made this way by a home that required them to always be ready. Understanding this does not erase it, but it changes the relationship to it, from flaw to response, from weakness to memory. The most persistent effect is this: they are always waiting for the fight, even when there is no fight coming. A partner going quiet feels like the calm before. A tone shift feels like detonation approaching. Every disagreement feels like the beginning of the end. This is not overreaction. This is a calibration built for a different environment, one that no longer exists. But the body does not know, so they live in low-level dread. Not dramatic, not named, just the permanent background hum of something coming. They became adults who struggled to enjoy peace, because peace always felt borrowed, like something that could be taken back at any moment. Love and conflict became inseparable in their mind, because the people they loved most were the source of their fear. So as adults, they seek relationships that feel like home. And home felt like this. Calm relationships can feel boring, suspicious. Something must be wrong. Nothing this quiet lasts. The absence of conflict feels like a trap. 3 responses get wired in childhood: fight, flee, or fawn. Make peace at any cost. Most children of conflict learn all 3. The fawn response is the quietest, the one where you become whatever the room needs, to keep the peace, to prevent the storm. They avoid conflict completely, not because they are passive, because conflict means everything falling apart, or they provoke conflict without meaning to. recreating the familiar tension unconsciously, because tension is what love felt like. They read micro-expressions with extraordinary accuracy. A slight tone shift, a half-second pause. Their nervous system cataloged all of it. They apologize constantly for everything, because appeasement was how they stopped storms. It became automatic. And when conflict does arrive, even gentle, healthy conflict, they shut down completely or disappear. But here is what else carries forward. They are extraordinarily perceptive. They read people with a depth most never develop. They are the people who notice the one crying quietly in a loud room, who check on the friend nobody checked on, who see what is not being said. They make extraordinary peacekeepers, not because conflict does not affect them, because they understand its cost better than anyone. And they love fiercely, sometimes desperately. These gifts came at a price, but they belong to you now, and you are allowed to carry them into safer spaces. The hidden cost nobody names is exhaustion, the chronic tiredness of a nervous system that never got to fully switch off. The cost of loving someone while always waiting for them to become dangerous. That particular kind of lonely. The cost of never fully believing you are safe, even when the evidence says you are. Even when everything has changed. Naming this is not blame. It is the act of finally understanding why safety has always felt just out of reach. This is not a story about damaged people. It is about people whose nervous systems learned the rules of a specific home. Those rules made sense in that house. They do not have to govern every house after. You are allowed to learn new ones. You did not cause the conflict you witnessed. You did not deserve to carry its weight. And you do not have to carry it forever. If this named something real for you, you are not alone here. Subscribe. This channel names what was never named.